Hello, fairy tale shopkeepers, and welcome back to Teddy's Haven. Start out our day, as always, petting Shadow there. We're going to take our horse, get on it here, and we're going to go do some picking and such to get our day started. So, hopefully you guys have been having a good week. I have been doing well so far. Sort of trying to figure out when this video is going to come out. I think this is going to actually come out the week that I'm going to be not recording over the weekend. Usually I record all these videos over the weekend, but I believe this video is one of those I'm recording the week before because I'm actually going to go away for a weekend with my wife. We're going to go to Phoenix, and there is a horror convention going on where Robert Englund's going to be. Really excited to hopefully get to meet him and such, possibly get an autograph. For those that don't know, Robert Englund was the actor who played Freddy Krueger. There was one other actor who has played Freddy, but in my personal opinion, Robert Englund is Freddy. His rendition of it is just what made that character come to life. So I'm really excited to meet him and such. Looking forward to the time and just, having a nice time away with my wife to just enjoy a bit. So yeah. With that in mind, we're also going to go to a little amusement park that's in Phoenix called Castles and Coasters, hopefully. Never been there before, but they do have 2 coasters, so I'm looking forward to getting on those possibly, riding a few other rides. Really just spending some time with my wife and enjoying life a little bit. I do love doing stuff for this channel, but hopefully it's something that, everybody needs to consider. You need to get out there, live your lives still, and enjoy life because it can be very short. This week that's been on my mind a lot, so my apologies, not trying to bring anybody else down or anything, but just something I've been thinking about. Somebody who I had gone to high school with suddenly and shockingly passed away this week. And then on top of that, for those who don't really watch the news, there's been a lot going on in Texas with flooding, where unfortunately a lot of people lost their lives. My heart goes out to those people. I hope that their families are holding up the best they can. The situation did really hit home for me because about 2 years ago, before the whole situation with my mother and us having to get a house with her occurred, we had actually planned on moving to Kerrville, Texas. Not making that up at all. We loved, once again, I love my amusement parks and stuff, and I really loved going to the SeaWorld and the Six Flags that are in San Antonio. One in San Antonio is Fiesta, Texas, which is a bit different than a lot of the Six Flags. I feel in some ways it's better than a lot of them, because it seems like the people who manage it really keep it up a bit better than some of the other ones. Of the 2 that are in Texas, I think it's a lot better than the one in Dallas, so on and so forth. But anyways, we had seriously considered moving to the area of San Antonio, but for myself and my wife, we're not big city people. We don't want to live in a city, never has been our thing. So it was one of those that our plan was, let's move into a small town near the big city. And that was Kerrville. And if you ever got to travel through Kerrville, it was a fantastic little town. You could have possibly said that it was sort of medium size. It had a decent amount of people, but it had this small town feel that was just really quaint and nice. Everybody was so nice to everybody. As tourists in the area, we'd go to the Cracker Barrel that was there. The wait staff were incredibly nice and willing to talk to you about the area and whatnot. The Walmart there was very nice and the staff were friendly. So it was really a charming place and someplace I was really excited at the idea of living. I know there was, in particular, this one restaurant that my wife and I just fell in love with called Mamacita's. Now, I don't know if Mamacita's was damaged in the flooding. I personally can't imagine how it was not damaged because it was sort of down toward the the lower area of town, I would say, towards the water. But, I mean, I hope that it was not. But in my mind, I feel like it probably was. Um, in either case, though, if you ever get the opportunity to go to Mamacita's, or if you ever did get the opportunity to go to Mamacita's, I'm guessing you know what I'm talking about some. It was a fantastic restaurant. Just going to move my mouse here real fast. My apologies. But it was this fantastic restaurant. It was really a unique setup. So the interior of the building, I think it triggered something for me as a theme park fan, because the interior of the building looked like the exterior of a building. The tables were situated along this sort of brick paved road area, and all the outlying portion of the building was decorated to look like the exteriors of buildings. And so it had this really nice themed feel to it, which was really nice and quaint. Their giant floating rocket there. But then the thing about it that was really cool as well is there were several sort of businesses that I do not believe were all owned by the restaurant itself, that were in these sort of buildings around the exterior of it. So really those quote-unquote buildings amounted to basically a room. But for example, one of those rooms was a tortilla shop, and they would make fresh tortillas in there. Now, I don't know if that was actually related to Mamacita's or not, but Mamacita's would use those fresh tortillas in some of their dishes and such, which was amazing. And there was also an ice cream shop that was in another one of the sort of buildings, I put into quotation marks. And there was an arcade and another one and stuff. And it just, like I said, it gave this unique feel to the place that was so different and quirky. And it was neat too, because like you could go to the ice cream shop, even if it was, you know, really bad weather outside, you could walk down the street of this little quote-unquote town to the ice cream shop, get ice cream, and bring it back to your table yourself to have and enjoy at the end of your meal. And I mean, like I said, I'm hoping nothing happened during the storm to it. I worry that something probably did, but I'm also cheering that hopefully they will be able to rebuild as good, if not better, than it was before. And without a question, as I said, if you're ever in the area, I do recommend Mamacita's when they reopen. As somebody who's lived in the New Mexico area since about 3rd grade, I can tell you I've had a lot of different Mexican food, and Mamacita's was a very nice sort of home feeling type of Mexican food. And for those who have had the food, you know what I'm talking about. There are different styles of any type of ethnicity as far as food. There's ones that feel like more major restaurant and such. And then there are those ones that just feel like something that you would have that your mom might make. And this had that kind of a feel. The type that it's like that mother or grandmother who's been working in the kitchen all day long, creating the dishes and such, and just making them taste exactly as you remember them from childhood. It's like, it was a really pleasant feeling, a really great experience. As I said, I hope that if something did happen during the storm to them, that they come back better than ever. But as I said also, my thoughts are with everybody that was affected by the tragedy. It's a really terrible thing that happened there. I know there's been some nasty comments put out there that are politically motivated and stuff, and hopefully you guys understand that with my channel, I'm never about sort of that hateful type of narrative as it is. I want everybody on this channel to always be positive and happy, and we're going to appreciate and enjoy things in life and, you know, try to make the world happier than we found it. That's always my mentality here. There is a giant dragon over there. We will get to that dragon. I'm not going to jump over there right away to get to him. We're going to continue with our method of going through everything over here. I almost said methodological. But yeah, we're going to go with our method here of going through everything, starting where at this end and making our way down. But excited to meet that dragon. But yeah, it's one of those that, as I said, I want to be... I want my channel to hopefully always be a positive thing for people. I want people to be able to say, you know, I was having a rough day and I watched one of your videos and I felt a little bit better. And for me, I get comments a lot of the time of, oh, you know, you deserve more subscribers with what you do on your channel and stuff. You should be getting this or that. And in all honesty, I'm honored that people think that, and it's really a nice thing to hear. But in my mind, the biggest thing for me is exactly just what I was saying. If one of my videos made somebody's day happier or helped you in some way, you saw something in a game that you'd been struggling with, and my video helped you learn how to do it, then I'm happy. I feel like I've done something that was really nice, and I feel good about it. It makes the work put into my channel worth it completely, and definitely motivates me to keep going, because that's what I want. I mean, some of our games will be dark games, some of them will be scary games, but the whole point is always for people to have fun and to enjoy. And if people are having fun and enjoying, then that's a win for me. And I've had that sort of mentality for a long while. One of the first games that I put on my channel, one of the reasons I actually started this channel, since we've got a lot of time here, today's sort of going to be story time almost. But one of the first games for those who are newer to the channel that ever came on this channel was Dead by Daylight. And I can say Dead by Daylight was actually the reason for the start of the channel. Now, any longer, I don't really play the game much. When I do, it's usually against the bots, simply because I'm just trying to get a video created and to get a move on. Because for me, it's not that there's anything wrong with Dead by Daylight. I still actually watch other people play Dead by Daylight sometimes and such. But for me, there are so many other games out there that I really want to play, that I really want to put on the channel and stuff. I just don't want to be tied down to one specific game like Dead by Daylight, as many creators do find themselves. And I mean, there is the financial situation with that. Dead by Daylight is incredibly popular. I understand that. I understand how that affects me. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Again, to me, it's not about doing this where I'm going to be the most popular YouTuber, anything of that nature. I'm here to have fun and hopefully for you guys to have fun with me. But anyways, back to my story. So I started this channel because of Dead by Daylight, because I was actually nervous while playing it. And it's not for the reason you might believe it would be. So I was actually pretty much scared playing Dead by Daylight. And it wasn't because it's a horror game. It wasn't because the characters were scary to me or anything like that. That was actually the reason I got into playing the game. I do enjoy horror. I really love many of those characters. And I had always said, and it was a promise I kept to myself, that if a game, regardless of what type of game it was, came out with Freddy Krueger as a playable character, especially if it was one where I could play in sort of a first-person style as Freddy Krueger, then I would play that game, because I was such a huge Freddy Krueger fan at the time. Now I would have to say Pennywise is that character for me, and I will say, same thing goes for Dead by Daylight in that case. If Pennywise were to come to that game, you will be seeing some more Dead by Daylight on this channel for a while, because I will play the heck out of Pennywise for a while. So that mentality hasn't really changed at all. But what happened is, Freddy Krueger did come to the game. It was not the Robert Englund version, which was unfortunate to me, and I've always wished that they could get a contract with Robert Englund so that they could put his likeness as a skin in. I would probably replay the game just for a little bit, just to be able to play as that version of Freddy. So that got me into Dead by Daylight, and I kept my promise, and I did play the game to play as him. And a lot of my earliest videos were of me playing as Freddy. And if you guys know anything about Dead by Daylight, that old Freddy was considered one of the worst characters in the game. His playstyle and such was not very good. It was very hard to be successful with him. And yeah, so not many people were playing as him. I actually feel overall I did quite good with him considering all things. But my thing was also I played the game differently than a lot of people. As I said with this channel, I don't play the games here to be the best at them. I don't play them to, make a how-to guide. I play them for your guys' enjoyment, and hopefully it brings you guys some happiness in your life. That's the reason. That's, to me, is a win on these games. And the same thing went for Dead by Daylight. I didn't play Dead by Daylight to be the best or to win every match. I know there are plenty of people who do that with Dead by Daylight. And understandable, I hope that they enjoy doing it that way. For me, though, my goal was always I wanted to see if I could give people a good scare. Because I love horror. And to me, a horror game like Dead by Daylight, that's the biggest thing. I would always love at the end of a match, everybody might have escaped. But if I had one of the survivors say, when you did this, you made me jump, or something of that nature, then I was happy. Then, as far as I was concerned, it was a win in the game. And I know video-wise, a lot of people don't want to see that. That's not something that really is entertaining to them, which was one of the reasons I started steering away from Dead by Daylight. But my fear with Dead by Daylight was not that at the beginning. It was not that viewers wouldn't like how I played. It was not that I was scared of the characters themselves. I love the monsters. Whenever I go to, say, a haunted house or something, I'm not really creeped out by the monsters. I've never found one that I have been. Probably there are ones out there, not saying there aren't, and not sort of trying to put an open challenge out there kind of thing. But it's one of those that I actually really enjoyed looking at the designs and the animatronics and everything like that, because horror just has always been a fascinating thing to me. So it was not that the characters scared me at all. What scared me, and is one of the things, if you notice with this channel, is most of my content is not multiplayer. And the reason for that is sort of my own fear. It's not sort of an agoraphobia or something about being with others. I'm fine about being with others, everything of that nature. For me, the whole situation came down to, very simply, I would be scared that I wasn't playing the game well enough for others to enjoy. And that sort of fear would get in my mind and would actually screw up my gameplay, because I'd be worried about trying too hard so that I made the game good for them. And if you know Dead by Daylight, for one, there are a lot of people who are not the nicest sometimes in the comments on it. And it made the game very challenging for me emotionally in that way, because I just wanted everybody to have a good time. Finish up this story real fast and then we'll go over to him. So, with that, as I said, I want everybody to have a good time, and I was not enjoying the game much myself because I was so worried all the time. Well, what I decided was, I had made a video or two for YouTube before, and I found when I was making these type of videos, as I am right now, I sort of lose track of time. I have no idea how much time I've been talking or how much time's been going on, because I'm just here talking with you guys. I used to be a university instructor, and it was the same way for me there. And one of my friends suggested, why not do that with Dead by Daylight? Just make a video with it, talk to the crowd, and that way you can enjoy the game. Let's go talk to this guy. I left a note in the ash. Too slow again, Quark. He'll probably leave me a snow sculpture in return. Sentimental frostbag? I miss him already. I see you kept the moss out of your doorway. Wise. Reminds me of the Mire of Thorns. A place where flowers bloom only on corpses and roots pull instead of hold. The frogs there wear skulls and the willows bleed black sap. I find it charming, but it is a place that teaches hard lessons quickly. Thank you for not flinching. That's rare. So we got increased profit of 15%. And we've got this cool view with this awesome dragon. So, like in another land, he would be considered evil. But here, he's just willing to talk. I love it. I really love that about this game. This game doesn't need, like, dangerous characters and stuff. You can just have fun with the characters, whether they're good or bad. And that's sort of a unique thing. Really, as I said, this game's got a charm to it that just is what I fell in love with. And the more I play, it hasn't gone away. It's just been kept there. I absolutely adore what the person's done with the game. But yeah, so I had a friend basically suggest that I try that because they noticed how I was struggling when we played Dead by Daylight together. And so I was like, I've made a few YouTube videos, why not try it? And so I did, and I actually did find that, I was able to enjoy the game more because I wasn't overly stressing about the game. I was just talking. Same way I did when I was teaching, and the same way I do right now while I'm talking to you guys. So I was doing that, but then I was also finding, now all of a sudden I've got all these hours of video of me playing Dead by Daylight. Because I was having fun as Freddy. People I was playing seemed to be having fun with my way of scaring them and such. And I was like, well, I need to do something with this. I have a YouTube channel I've put a few videos on. Why don't I try and put these videos out there and see if people like them? Worst that could happen is they don't like them. It's a very cool design for that dragon. Really like it. I wonder if all dragons are going to be the 4-leg variety or some are going to be bipedal. It's one of those I'm always intrigued by is dragon designs because some people do put them as all 4-legged, some people have them as bipedal, some people have them as simply bipedal with wings instead of arms. So you got all those different options. Always interesting to see the differences. But yeah, so that's really how this channel came to be. That's what I did. I recorded so that I could try to enjoy Dead by Daylight without being stressed, and then I would post the videos here. That's why at the time also my video quality was definitely not that great because really that was sort of an afterthought. I wasn't producing videos at that point for people. I was producing them more for myself just so I could enjoy the games. And then as time went on and people started watching and such, and I started getting more subscribers, I was like, this is actually, people are enjoying this. And everybody in the community has been so friendly and such. I've really appreciated that always. I love the community that sort of started on this channel. And then I was like, I started to get bored with Dead by Daylight. I am going to go up here and check because you never know if something different's up here this time. But I got a bit burned out with Dead by Daylight. I was playing it too much, and it was just becoming repetitive and boring. So I was like, let me change it up. Let me try some other games. And I found people like those games too. It made me realize I don't have to play... There's Umbra. Always hidden in the weeds there. But it's one that was like, I don't have to play just the simple same games over and over again. I can play different things and people can enjoy those different things. And so with that, it really opened up the world of what games I could put on the channel. And with being able to put different things on the channel, it's like, let's explore the world of video games together. And here we are, years later, and I'm happy about it. I do get those comments that's like, wow, it's surprising your channel's not growing faster and all this. And I appreciate it because I take them as, people think what I do is good. I don't take them in any way negative. And I really appreciate those comments that people are being nice in that way. I know there are some people that are like, oh, you could do this in order to improve your channel. Oh, you should play this game in order to get more viewers. I understand those things, and I appreciate people wanting to help. It is not that I don't. It's not that that's the reason I don't do some of the things that people list. For me, really, the whole reason that I sort of do things the way I do is because as sort of the entire formation of the channel was. It was about me enjoying video games. That's what this channel has always been about, was an appreciation of video games. We got red crabs over here. Hi. Still don't know what the red crabs do, or the blue crabs. Still love the look of that dragon. That is awesome. But yeah, it's one of those, the channel is about appreciating video games. And the games that I appreciate may not be the same always as the games you appreciate. That's completely fine. Maybe you guys really love Supermarket Simulator, but you hate Teddy's Haven. Or maybe you like these type of simulator games, but you hate when I play Dead by Daylight, or say RoboCop or something like that. For me, I really have an eclectic taste in games. I love a lot of different types of games, and I probably always am going to. And that's something that's going to be on the channel. There's not going to be a specific set style or type of video game that's going to be on the channel. Ones like Planet Coaster will always probably be a part of this channel until a game that's better than it comes out. And I mean in the sort of theme park category. So for now, Planet Coaster 2 is the game. Planet Coaster was on the channel until Planet Coaster 2 came out, because it was only then that a game had sort of surpassed what the first one was doing. In the future, maybe there'll be a Planet Coaster 3, or I know there's a game called Mega Parks, I think it is, that's in development right now. Definitely I'll give that a look when it comes out. And who knows, maybe one of those will take over that spot. For now though, originally I wasn't sure Planet Coaster 2 was going to take over that spot. I was going to play through the main game, but I was really leaning towards going back to the original Planet Coaster because I thought it was a better game. And at the time, I do believe I was correct in that. It was a better game. But now, they have done a lot of work on Planet Coaster 2, and they have made it into a very good game. It is better than the original, and that's a great thing. You always want a sequel to be better. You always want to see that improvement from one year to the next on games. And as I said, I definitely feel like you do see that in Planet Coaster 2 now. So, for right now, Planet Coaster 2 is going to be that theme park game that's on my channel until something sort of beats it. It's better than it. And I don't know what that'll mean. I don't know what that'll be, but we'll see in time, perhaps. Greetings. Some stories smolder long after their embers fade. Let me tell you one of them. In Cinderellith, the fire begged to be fed, but the old lords refused its call. From Ash came one without name, who braved fallen kingdoms and broken vows. At the end, they faced the Ember Heart again and chose. Hat they chose, no one knows. But the sky no longer burned the same. Thank you for staying through the silence between endings. I do love the story time with the turtle. I think that he's really great. Go pet Weasley there. I find it easier to find the green fairy going the other way around, so that's what we're going to do here. We gotta find Absinthe here. That's what I'm gonna nickname the Green Fairy. For those that don't know what that joke is about, might be a bit young to understand that joke. You'll figure it out again later in life. And that's not to shame anybody, but yeah, I don't see that as the Hacker Fairy. That's Absinthe. Definitely feel like we've been faster getting around the land here than we have been in the past. I might be wrong, but it's definitely the way it feels to me. And I am motivated to sort of go around the land each day because of the fact that cool things like that dragon occur, where you see him this time and you wouldn't have in previous times. Also, since I'm able to pick things faster and faster, it means going around isn't taking as long in that respect, I think, too. So, it works out. Last time we found 2 different guardians. I'm wondering... I'm going to call them guardians, because that's what they seem like to me. But I'm wondering if we'll see a second one here this time, too, or if it's just going to be the dragon this time. For those that are unsure, if you where we left off, we are working on basically expanding the shop right now. I do want to get another cashier at a point. I don't really feel like I need another stalker right now. I mean, I think that we'll be able to get a stalker before we get another cashier. But really, I don't feel like our shelves empty out fast enough to warrant a second stalker right now. So, no real reason to spend the money on one. We will get one when we need one. It's not that I'm unwilling to do so. I mean, Supermarket Sim, I just wish my stalkers were as efficient and speedy as the ones seem to be here in the Teddy's Haven. But they do have the ability to fly, which my standard human ones do not in Supermarket Sim. Again, I'm not exactly sure when this video is coming out, so it may already have happened, or it may be coming a little bit later this week, but there are going to be, I'm hoping, supposed to be, 2 new releases that are coming, or one is a full-on game, one is technically a DLC, but from what I've heard and seen, I have a feeling that this DLC is going to be almost game size as far as the amount that it's going to have to it. I'm hoping it is, because otherwise it's going to be one of those, I'm going to be disappointed what was produced for the price that they asked for it. And that is definitely a concern I've had in video games as of late. There's been some DLCs and stuff that were really great in one aspect, but did not have enough content to them for the price they were asking. And the one that I think the most of that right now is the Still Wakes the Deep DLC. That is a game I've been very torn about overall. I love horror, as I have said many, many times. I'm not a huge fan of body horror, and so that's why I didn't play the original game, but I did watch it because of the fact that I was really struck. Hey, you can see the little horse we're riding. That's neat. But I was really struck by the detail level and how realistic the oil rig looked and everything of that nature. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is a horror game, so do be warned. It does have body horror to it, so be warned about that. But if you're looking for a high quality horror game and you're open to body horror, which what I would suggest is think about the movie The Thing as a good example of what I'm talking about with body horror. But if that's something you're into, then this might be a game you would want to either pick up or at least watch somebody else play, because it is really quality. There are scenes where you have to sort of maneuver this oil rig, and I will say the detail level on that oil rig was just absolutely amazing. Really appreciate it. I love the detail level. And in the DLC, you're sort of underwater doing sort of a diving mission to some wreckage. And again, detail level wise, absolutely top tier. I truly loved it. This time, I sort of knew what I was expecting as far as the monsters and stuff, so it was just already one I knew I wasn't going to personally play. But again, I did love the detail on it and was fascinated by that. The issue I saw in this, though, was the fact that it was a reasonably expensive DLC in my mind. More expensive than some games that I've put on the channel. I think it was probably somewhere in line with Teddy's Haven as far as price tag and such. But the actual content for it, while really beautiful and detailed looking, came out to, like, depending on how you play the game, between an hour and a half and 3 hours worth of gameplay only. And for that price tag, really, I would have wanted at least like 6 hours of gameplay. Now, the one DLC that I'm looking at is going to be about $25 worth. It's going to be fairly expensive, between $25 and $30. And so I'm definitely expecting between 6 and 8 hours of gameplay to it. If it's shorter than that, I am going to be disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I will always be honest with you guys here. I'm excited for it still. I enjoyed the main game. Some of you guys probably know what game it is already. Others might be in the dark, and I'm going to leave you there for right now. I want you to have that surprise when it comes out. But I am looking forward to this DLC, I will say. And already have my purchase in, so we are going to be playing it hopefully the first day it comes out. Now I am going to be moving hopefully to my new house and such this same week, so there's a lot of juggling going to be going on, a lot of uncertainty. But I am going to do my very best to get at least a couple videos, especially the day it comes out for the for this DLC. And as I said, I am definitely looking forward to it. But it's going to be a question of not only the quality. I think the quality will be there. I really do feel fairly confident in that and fairly comfortable in that. But do they give you the quality and the quantity that is deserving of that type of a price tag? And there are some other games that I'm really questioning that more and more with. In specific, I'll just call them out for it right now. I do plan on getting the Madden game for this year. But this may be the last year that I get it, unless I see some real significant differences between this year's version and last year's version, and if I see some significant differences between this year's version and the year after's version. If I don't see a big difference, and some of that's on the NFL, Madden can't change things they can't change. But if there's not a team moving to a new city, if there's not a team that has fully changed its uniform or its logo or, its name, things like that. If it's basically going to be the same exact game that it was the year before and such, I'm not going to spend the money on it the way I have been. And there is a part of that, like I said, is the NFL. Nothing that Madden can do about that. But there is a part of it that also is Madden. Because, in my opinion, Madden last year played a lot like Madden did the year before. And I'm guessing Madden this year will as well. I am going to, as I said, buy it for this particular year. But then after that, I might not. Because this year's version is going to cost $70. And to me, it's not that I worry about money. It's not that I am overly stingy, I will say. But I don't appreciate wasting money either. And if you're not going to give me a product that justifies the price tag, then I'm not going to continue to buy it. And that's where I sort of stand with Madden at this point. Madden, over the past few years, has not justified buying a new game. And I'm hoping they prove me wrong this year. I'm hoping that this year's version of the game is significantly different. I have watched the trailers and such for the game. Personally, I haven't seen anything that I think is truly different that they're doing. So the only thing I can say is I'm very hopeful that the storyline mode is something that's worthwhile. Because like last year's storyline mode really boiled down to, hey, you got drafted to the NFL. Which, a few years back, the one where they had you in high school and working your way up to college and then to the NFL.
Who hired you to do this right now?
What in the world?
This is breaking my immersion. Why do I even exist?
All right, I like that. We're going to go hit that rock again here to Point PS. Yeah, I want to see what other things it says. But yeah, that year's Madden was fantastic, and I would love to see more of those. You know, give me different storylines that make my character significant. Last year's, it was sort of just truly, you're here in the NFL.
I'm gonna need you to back up about 3 feet, please.
I like that. That's really neat. But yeah, last year's was just like, yeah, you're trying out for the NFL. Here you are. You tried out for the NFL. You could pick which team you wanted to play on. And I have decided that this year, even though I would, of course, want to be on the Carolina Panthers, whichever team I get drafted to is whichever team I get drafted to. We're just going to play the storyline mode out for what it is and see what happens. But I definitely am hoping that storyline mode has more to offer than it did last year. Because to me, that is the biggest part where Madden has a part to play. They can do something about that. I know, like I said, they can't change uniforms. They can't change the reality that certain teams are from certain locations or their stadiums are what they are. Those kind of things are just the way they are. But they can make those differences as to having a storyline mode that's engaging and interesting for the players to enjoy. And last year's was pretty much a flop for me. We will see how this coming year's is. I'm hopeful for it. I'm hopeful in a couple months here I'll enjoy it. But I guess we'll see.
Why?
Alright, that's enough, I guess. I don't want to hurt her. I am going with her because that's what the voice sounds like there. Could be wrong, but that's at least what I'm hearing. But yeah, so that's sort of my 2 cents on, and I'm using Madden as an example. I will say Madden is not the only one that does it. I just realized there's this bridge up here now. Let's see where the bridge goes. At the very least, it gives us another ferry. Gonna try to keep an eye out through the middle here just to make sure there's nothing that I'm missing on any of these locations. Alright, so we got an air ferry there, so that's interesting. But yeah, as I said, especially for those higher price games, that's something that really stands out to me. If it is sort of a lower price game, then, you know, I'm more willing to say, hey, this game is very similar to such and such, and still be willing to give it a try, because then it's okay. But when you're charging $70 to people, for one, I do feel a responsibility as somebody who has a YouTube channel, small or not. It is something I take seriously. I do not want to recommend a game or make it look like it's an ultra fun game so that somebody goes out and spends their hard-earned money on something when, in all honesty, instead of buying Madden last year, you could have just stuck with the previous year's version, been completely fine. The only things that changed were the roster, and I'm sure you could find a mod and such online that would change the roster up for you. So yeah. I don't feel like last year's was really worth it. And I will say the same thing for this year's if that happens to be the case. And I will call out games that have those issues. So we'll see on Madden. There's, like I said, probably other games out there that I will feel the exact same way about. The DLC coming out this next month, though, definitely does not fit that category. I am looking forward to that DLC. and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as I plan on enjoying it. Then we also have a full game coming out. Now, that full game has announced something just this week. Made me a little bit nervous because it basically sounded like the demo I had played for that game in the past may have covered a lot of what is in that full game already. So hopefully the full game will add more than just what was in that demo to it, because otherwise that's going to be a little bit on the sad side. But only time will tell. Looking forward to it one way or the other. And then the final one, there is another one still for this month. There's going to be 3 that I'm really looking at in the month of July. The third one is a sequel to a game that I had played before on the channel, very early on in the channel. I loved the original, even though sometimes it was so taxing mentally and just frustrating. But I did love it. Hopefully you guys will... I think you guys did enjoy the original. And hopefully we'll all love the sequel just as much. But that's all I'm going to say on them, basically. Pay my respect to Teddy here. And then go in here and work our cash register for the day. So yeah, very busy month here in July for the channel. Then August, as I said, we already know that Madden's going to be out then. We will see what other games we have on top of Madden that we'll have for the month. Not really sure of any others, but sure that there will be others. Alright, so we had to pay that for the day. We had to pay our 2 employees. And we have to pay our loan still for the day as well. Pay our first employee off. I'm perfectly fine paying our employees. They earn that money. Oh yeah. Get that money as well. We got some geese coming in here. Interesting. So we've got transportation now in there. We have crafting in here. We have decoration. Display. This interests me with the transportation stuff. Magical zipline. I'm assuming basically this is the idea that we can use these things to travel around the map a little bit easier. Definitely I'll give those a look at a point in time, but not going to spend a whole bunch of money on them right now, kind of thing. Really, this is something I would spend more money on earlier, would be the crafting. But my thing is, I want to expand the store some more, because right now, like, I need another area just for crafting at this point. Because even that area over there is fairly well taken up. I don't have room for other stuff. All the geese seem to be coming to me. Oh no, the geese is going over there too. That's good. We've got enough of those, it looks like, for now. Just want to keep an eye on those. There you go. Pay off that bill. Almost ready to pay off the final bill. $0.09 short of paying off the next bill. Definitely be able to now. Alright, pay that off. Alright, probably gonna go with the, hard to tell which one I'll go with. Sort of thinking about the weaponsmith one. Yeah, sort of leaning towards weaponsmith. Oh, wow, alright. You wanted your milk. Thank you for the milk, ma'am. I do find it interesting. I am playing Supermarket Simulator. I am bulk recording it a bit more. But I am playing that at the same time as I'm playing this game. And I was concerned that I would sort of get burned out playing two basically shop simulators at the same time. But the difference in what they are, this one being the sort of fairy tale thing that is, and with the gathering and stuff, makes it so different than the supermarket one with going out to just get things out on the street and such. I love the difference. It's really awesome. Makes the game a lot of fun. So yeah, we're going to need 700 for that expansion. Where I think I can move that over and put more weapons over there. They're buying rocks, and you know what? I am happy to sell them rocks. We will get that upgrade, but not right now. I don't want to have it where we are struggling financially at the end. Alright, so produce-wise, we got 3 of those in the back, 10 of those. Weapons-wise, we got 3 and 2. Alright, so we are going to need to buy that stuff at a point too. Something to keep in mind. That's why I sort of want to wait till the end of the day to set up new stock and such, because I don't want it to hurt where we are. Haven't sold too many weapons. Don't know if my coworker has or not. But not many people buying weapons today. And that is the nice thing is, since I go and pick most of the stuff that we have in the shop, I don't have to worry about spending a ton on those different items. Alright, so let's go ahead here. Let's upgrade. So this one would be nice. I mean, we could probably have better produce displays. But I'd rather have the weapons. So let's see what we got as far as weapons. We got the Bone Fang Gauntlets, the Ashwood Bow, and the Hunter's Quiver. Alright. Looks like I can sort of overlap lines, which sort of is a good thing there, I think. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Alright, so we are going to need those three, and we're going to need weapon displays. Nah, that doesn't really fit there too well. Alright. We are going to need more of these items in the future, but for right now, they'll just have to be good enough as they are. Alright, I know I bought another shelf. Did it fall outside? Or do I not have the money for the other shelf? That would be really bad if I don't have the money for the other shelf. I've got a candle, but I do not have the shelf. That's unfortunate. Huh. Alright, not much I can do about that right now. I am going to need that shelf, though, in order to put out this last item. So I think what I may do, I think I have enough supplies to sort of get through the next day. I'm just going to have to try to remember that I need to put out that other shelf and hope that I can. It's going to be several weeks before I play again, so that's the bad thing. Unless these fit on that shelf over there by chance, but I doubt that they do. Yeah, they do not. Alright. And this shelving is $25. So I'm just short by $1.95. Unfortunate. Yeah, we will go ahead and pay that off here, hopefully, in the near future. Should be only 2 more days in game for that. But we're just going to have to leave it as it is. Do wish I knew what these things over here did. Really have to get up there pretty high in order to get some of these. Sort of is almost the nice thing is these are all at store level 100, so for right now, really once I get through store level 20, I'll have sort of pretty much everything that I could use for right now. As far as that goes, the expansions go through level... Oh, I see how it is. Alright, so really the expansions will go faster and we'll expand this building out and such. And we've got a decent amount of expansions here already. We've got enough space right now. If I could afford the other weapons display, we'd put it right there. Let me remember to mark these. Put the prices up where they belong. So we've got those. Really, probably the next episode, the whole thing is going to be buying the items we need, buying that shelving unit we need to get that set out there. I'm almost toying with the idea of just playing through that day today, even though you'll see it the following week, just to make sure I get it done and such. I think I'm going to do that because I don't want to miss out on something that's important in the game. I do see something glowing up there, though, too. Do you guys see that? Oh, those are just the teleporters. Alright. Wanting to see if I'm missing anything. I do see that purple glow up on that hilltop up there. And there's one up there too. The one I'm most curious about though is going for that one over there. Did that make your guys' stomach drop as much as it did mine? Because that was a really nice feeling, actually. I liked that a lot. We're going to see if we can somehow get up on that hilltop. The dragon in the dark doesn't look that scary, really. It's just sort of a shadow there. But I am curious about that up there. So we're going to check that out real fast. Then we'll go ahead and end this episode. As I said, I'm really thinking I'm going to make a short episode for next week here. Probably won't go out and farm everything. We'll just get the eggs. And maybe, I don't even think we'll get the milk, just the eggs. And then, it's a unicorn, it looks like. It's a glowing unicorn. There's no real way up here. It is a glowing unicorn. And I'm not seeing a way up to it. But I am stubbornly gonna go look. I wonder if we'll ever get through here. I'm curious about stuff in there. So many curiosities in this game. Well, there is that unicorn. Nothing we can do about it, I guess. Is there a rock right? Yeah, there's a rock right here. Teleport us home. And do you guys notice that the cow's eyes glow in the dark? If anything, that's a little bit on the creepy side. Alright, we're back home. Nothing else gonna happen here tonight. No crash landing meteorites, anything like that. Does not look it. Alright, so we'll close the doors to Teddy's Rest here. Or we won't. And I will bid you guys a good day. I did want to see something here. I'm flying. I'm not pressing the buttons right there. I was just flying. I am flying above the ground. And yes, I'm going to try to get to that unicorn. Looks like I'm slowly lowering down though. Yeah, I am. I would never make it. I had heard there was something with this. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's intentional or not. But it is sort of cool if you jump. But it doesn't last long enough. I know I saw one person get themselves shot way in the air. Yeah. I can't seem to get it done, but let me know if you guys do. Sort of a little quirk here, but definitely I want to see that unicorn at a point. That's intriguing to me. Anyways, as said, gonna end this video here. If you enjoyed what I did in the video, please go ahead and click that like button. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, so you're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you all back for more of Teddy's Haven.